Welcome to Global Arena. Hello to everybody coast to coast watching on TSN, listening on TSN Radio, and hello to those of you watching on the NBC Sports Network. Two teams that have dreams of winning gold here at the World Championship square off in this semifinal. USA in white, Switzerland in red. Nino Niederreiter in there with a good hit right off the bat on Matt Carl. Niederreiter is the first-round pick of the New York Islanders. He's had a strong tournament. USA down to the Swiss zone. Puck comes back to the near point for Matt Carl of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he is bumped off the puck there again by Niederreiter.
Two very untraditional teams in the semifinal. The U.S. has not been here for a very, very long time, and the Swiss, they're playing a very physical style. They're taking pucks to the net, and they started off with a great forecheck.
USA, one of the highest scoring teams in the tournament against the team that allows the fewest. Yossi in. Walker takes a shot, and they are going to look upstairs to see whether or not that got past Gibson. His arms went up, and the referee signaled he's going to take a look at this. Meantime, play continues with Troxler down low in the corner. Comes up the boards, flipped down the ice, and inside the blue line.
Roman Josi getting up on the play, did a terrific job, but I think that shot by Walker went off the post.
I think it did too. The referee signaled as though he was going to get a review. There's a loose puck right in front, and it trickles into the corner on Ryan Gardner. Gets it to Andres Ambule back towards the net. Good start here by Switzerland. Bag pass up to center ice. We've had more chances in the first minute and a half than we had in the entire first period of Finland-Sweden.
Absolutely.
Here comes Ambule in over the line, and he is stripped of the puck, and it's turned back. Ryan Carter is number 20 for Team USA of the New Jersey Devils. This is Eric Blum. Blum did not play in the quarterfinal win over the Czech Republic. He gets back in tonight. He plays in Cloton in the Swiss League. John Gibson, the 19-year-old. Bouncing puck, he swats at it to keep it away from the net. Nate Thompson goes to Butler, and Chris Butler gets it out. Now here comes Carter on his back end, dumps it in, then pulls back for a change.
The U.S. using the checking line of Nate Thompson against the top line for the Swiss, the Luca Kunti line.
Number 74, Switzerland, is Dennis Hollenstein. He is a dangerous player. That is covered up at the U.S. net. And they are going to go over and review this to make sure that shot by Julian Walker did not get in past Gibson.
Well, Julian Walker was a surprise entrant on this Swiss team. He plays in Geneva in the Swiss League. And they've got him here because he's big, he's physical, he gets pucks out, and he's a very strong defensive player. But that goes off the crossbar, and it's very evident here that it did not go in. The Swiss, you know, they have depth, Dave. They have 4 lines, they all can skate. They have 4 lines, they're all fairly good defensively, the Swiss are.
The referees are Lars Brueggemann of Germany and Tonin Jerabek of the Czech Republic. No goal, as you saw from the replay. The linesmen include Chris Carlson, who is from Edmonton. So close call there for Walker, but it definitely caught the crossbar in over the shoulder of 19-year-old John Gibson, who's from Pittsburgh. And a month ago, he was in the Ontario Hockey League playoffs with the Kitchener Rangers. Won a gold medal at the World Juniors in January. What a remarkable story Gibson is becoming here for Team USA. Moser with a shot. Gibson a save. Rebound. They bang away. Gibson is down looking for it. And finally, play is whistled down. A mad scramble in front of the U.S. net.
Now, this is very un-Swiss-like. The Swiss have normally been very strong defensive teams, but this is where their improvement has come. They take pucks to the net, and they'll score those NHL-style goals. Moser takes the shot to the net. Martin Plus, the captain of Bern, the champion of the Swiss League, he's hard at the net, banging away at rebounds. You score those goals in the dirty areas.
Face-off win there for USA. They needed that one from their captain, Stastny, who's got it on his backhand. What a tournament he's having. Craig Smith, 5 assists in the 8-3 romp over Russia. in the quarterfinal, which was in Helsinki. So this is USA's first game in Stockholm. They did not play in Stockholm last year either, as those two cities co-hosted last year as well. And this is their first game here in this side.
No, not a lot of familiar names on either side, but both of them win in a similar fashion. They win because they work hard. They win because they're enthusiastic. They follow a game plan. This will be a very interesting matchup as we continue to go on.
And if some USA hockey fans were wondering whether or not the Swiss would kind of sit back and wait for a few things to happen, I think we've got our answer.
Well, they're an extremely quick team.
Got a very aggressive start. That is Eric Johnson breaking up that play. Out the back end, Johnson's defensive partner is the same one he has in Denver in the National Hockey League, Matt Hunwick, who wears number 22. Here's Hunwick, keeps the puck into the line, puts it down low, in behind the goal, waiting for it is T.J. Oshie of the St. Louis Blues. His third game of the championship after joining Team USA once the Blues were knocked out of the playoffs. Rito Suri is one-on-one with Johnson. Wrist shot, gets his own rebound, and a nice back check there by Alex Galchenyuk of the Montreal Canadiens.
Real good play by young Jacob Trouba, too, to fend him off and then make a good outlet pass.
Trouba, another youngster, another 19-year-old who played for Michigan this season, then signed with the Jets. He was with the Jets practicing, did not get into a game as they made a big push to try to get into the playoffs. Here's Chris Butler, turns it over, Niederreiter, and he had Gibson down and he couldn't get the shot away. Gibson may have gotten it with his stick. What a mistake there to Nino Niederreiter, who's been pretty darn good. 4 goals in the championship.
He scored them all in the same fashion. That's the first breakaway I can remember him having.
Draw pass in there for number 12, a very offensive player for Switzerland, Luca Kunti, who has the puck now. Into the middle for Bonenman, and he can't get a shot away. In against Jake Trouba, who was there defensively. Here is Kunti now. Into traffic on the right side, puts it back to the line. This is Rafael Diaz of the Montreal Canadiens. He gets all tied up. Hollenstein comes back to help him.
He's been paired with Roman Josi, and that pair is going to log a lot of ice time tonight. They're the top pair for the Swiss, and they do things offensively as well as defend against top players.
One of the top pairs in the tournament once Diaz arrived after the Canadiens were knocked out. Here's Carter on his back end, trying to get away from Diaz, puts it back to the line. Shot there from Jeff Petrie, reaches the net, and Rito Berra, a somewhat surprising starter for Switzerland, makes the save. Martin Gerber was the netminder in the quarterfinal for the Swiss.
Yes, Martin Gerber's 38 years old, so maybe the thought was that just too much hockey for him in this 2-game weekend.
And Berra, who has been very good in the Swiss League and here in this tournament, makes another save.
No, definitely. I coach in the Swiss League, and Berra was by far the best goalie in Switzerland this year. He's been involved in the trade of Jay Baumeister to the St. Louis Blues. He's signed with the Calgary Flames and should be tending goal for them, or at least being the backup next year for them. I think he's their best goalie, but the other guy has been pretty outstanding.
Matt Carl holds the line. Puck goes up in the air for Smith of the Nashville Predators. And they'll reset from the back end. Carl goes across, and here comes the captain, Stastny. Paul Stastny with 13 points in this championship. Tied for second in tournament scoring coming into action today. In towards the net. And that is knocked down before it reaches Berra, back out to center.
Real good-looking line, the Stastny line. They've got power with David Moss tramping to the net, and Craig Smith has really found his legs again.
Another turnover, and Blues can't get a shot away as Justin Falk got his stick in the way. No score here in the first period. Just past 7 o'clock on Saturday night here in Stockholm, Sweden. Second semifinal right off the draw. Niederreiter gets a shot away, and Gibson is called upon to make another save. He's been busy. Shots are 7-2 for the 8-0 Swiss. Galchenyuk, cross-ice pass, rolls it on Berra. He pushed it back out in front for Oshie. Here's Oshie, backhander, blocked right in front of the net by Julien Vauclair. Tim Stapleton in his second World Championship. Played in Minsk this year in the KHL, where he was their top scorer. Hunwick with a drive off of the end board. Stapleton goes over to meet it. Tim Stapleton down low to Alex Galchenyuk, the 19-year-old rookie from the Canadiens. On his horse down low is Danny Cristo. Cristo's 22 years of age. Had a strong season at the University of North Dakota and then signed with the Canadiens and finished up the season with their AHL affiliate in Hamilton.
A couple of very good-looking young players that'll be with the Canadiens for a long, long time.
Philippe Fuhrer was all tangled up there. Gets a little help from number 5, Sev Blindenbacher. And here comes Kunti now, down the right side. Kunti trying to get past Butler, and he does. Now Hollenstein. Hollenstein throws it out in front. Butler's there. Loose puck. Gibson with a great save on Bodenman.
Again, it is the speed of that number 1 line for the Swiss. Kunti's fast, Hollenstein's fast, and they take pucks to the net.
And here they come again. Bodenman goes to the front of the net. Here comes Kunti, winding his way around. Puts it into the corner for Hollenstein, who's fast and powerful. Throws a backhand feed out in front, looking for Bodenman. Switzerland all over the place here. Petrie has to pick up his stick as it was knocked out of his hands, and USA needs to regroup here.
You have to love the play of John Gibson, though. He's bailed them out early.
He made a couple of early key stops in the quarterfinal win against Russia. Rito Suri can't find that puck. Ambule can, and he got a shot away, but he was in too tight. Back to Diaz. Diaz into the corner. Ambule now. Out in front for Suri. He missed on the one-timer. Wow, what a offensive clinic.
You know, we've seen this all along. People know the Swiss are good. They look at their record, but you just don't see the big names, and you cannot believe how skilled and how quick they are.
There's a slap shot from the far side off the stick of Steven Gionta. Now Gionta trying to pull that one off the boards, goes hustling into the corner, and he is hit hard there by Philippe Fuhrer. You're a veteran defenseman of the Swiss League. He plays in Bern, where they won the championship, as you pointed out. And we have a penalty call coming up here. First power play of the game is coming up.
Well, that's a real good puck possession shift by the USA. Paul Stastny did a lot of leg work down deep in the zone, as did David Moss. And Gionta draws the penalty. Fuhrer got away with the first one, the big overpowering hit, but then he laid a cross-check on him a little later. You can usually get away with one, but then you got to be careful the rest of your shift.
USA's power play, it's been good. Number 2. They got the top 2 power plays in the tournament head-to-head here tonight. USA is second, 9 for 27, 33%. Switzerland's penalty killing, Mark, is 5th.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity for the U.S. to jump out with the lead. They haven't played great, but the power play can change that immediately.
Here comes Stastny, puts it into the middle, was looking for Smith. And Rito Suri to the line and out. Jake Trouba is on one of the points along with Justin Falk. Trouba picks his way in over the line, puts it in front, great pass, looking for the tip. David Moss, who is cruising out in front, and down the ice it goes.
You gotta love Joe Sacco. He's not afraid to use Jacob Trouba on the number 1 power play, and he rewards him with some real strong puck presence, and almost made the goal mouth pass.
Here's Oshie up to Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk's shot is kicked out by Berra. Here's Walker. Julian Walker races up short-handed for Switzerland, drops it off, and Gibson snaps that one out of the air with his glove.
Well, Gibson has stopped all 10 shots directed his way. The last by Matthias Seeger, the captain of the Swiss team. This is Seeger's 15th World Championships. He's the captain of Zurich in Switzerland, and getting his first chance to compete for a medal this weekend.
That 15 World Championship, that ties a world record for the men's top group. Ties them along with Petteri Nummelin, who was an excellent, skilled defenseman for Finland. There's a look at the head coach of Team USA, Joe Sacco, who was also part of the staff in 2009, which was the last time USA played in a semifinal. It was in Bern, and it was a hard-fought one-goal loss to Russia. The team was coached by Ron Wilson. Swiss send this one down the ice with just 17 seconds remaining in the penalty to Führer. This is Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk had that bounce off of his leg. He almost got it to bounce his way, but backing up now is Johnson. And the power play is over. So the Swiss have killed it off. 8:05 remaining here in a fast-paced first period. No score. Switzerland, USA. Rito Berra, who plays in Biel in the Swiss League. Out of his net, spins it around, and USA from the back end. Jeff Petrie of the Edmonton Oilers, his third season just completed there, and this pass doesn't connect, and that will be icing against Team USA.
You know, we've talked a lot about the Swiss. You can't say enough about Sean Simpson. Sean Simpson, Canadian from Brampton, Ontario. Many people back in Canada will remember him. The Ottawa 67s, the great line of Simpson, Fox, and Jolly. Jim Fox and Ivan Jolly.
Now here he is doing Brian Kilway proud, coaching behind the bench and trying to improve to 9-0 and get this team to a gold medal game. Carter makes a nice move, then dishes it off to Petrie. Petrie throws it across the goal mouth, comes to the line for Craig Smith. Smith makes one move, then another, got a shot away. Berra makes the stop. Smith cycles it back for Stastny, the captain. Chris Butler up to Moss, centering its head. Berra reaching for it, but he got some help from Philippe Führer. And back out to center it goes.
You can just see why the U.S. has been successful. They've been playing over on the other side in Helsinki. But the puck possession game of Paul Stastny and his line has been just terrific.
Paul Stastny in his second consecutive World Championship, his third overall. His father, Peter, played in 4 World Championships for Czechoslovakia. There's another turnover. Gardner backhander. And Gibson makes the stop. Rito Suri on the loose puck. Gardner moves it up the boards. Ambule makes a move to get it to the point, and Gibson sees that long-range shot and makes yet another save.
When we brought the victory.
Score is 0-0 with 6:24 to go. Shots are 14-5 in favor of Switzerland. Gibson, the 19-year-old, has been excellent. They made it to the second round of the OHL playoffs before they were knocked out by the London Knights. Here comes Josi straight up the middle. Near side looking for Niederreiter. Niederreiter had a strong season in the American League, playing in Bridgeport. And the Islanders are watching him perform well here in the World Championship and gain some more experience. There's Josi with a shot and an easy save that time for John Gibson.
Well, John Gibson has faced 15 shots already in this first period. Roman Josi, I've already said how well he's played. He has been absolutely terrific. He skates with such authority. He's got a rocket of a shot, and when he combines the two, power through the neutral zone, it's just terrific to see.
Talking to his coach, Sean Simpson, prior to the game, who's had this job as the national team coach for 4 years, says, I can't even tell you how far Josi has come as a defenseman. And he was already good when he first came in, he felt. Here's a 3-on-2 rush for Switzerland. Backhander. Gibson's down. Puck stays loose. Jumping on it is Hollenstein. Hollenstein tries to center it and can. Little help now from Kunti. Kunti being watched there by Eric Johnson. Johnson, the veteran defenseman of the Colorado Avalanche. A lot of members of the Avs around this tournament. Few on this team, few left with Canada as well. Here's Yoshi. TJ Oshie down low for Galchenyuk. Back to Oshie. Backhander got the shot away. Berra springs onto the loose puck and covers that one up.
Well, TJ Oshie's just come over from the St. Louis Blues, and what a second line he's given to the Team USA. There's the Swiss president, Uli Maurer. I'll tell you what, there's 8 million people in Switzerland. 7,999,000 are watching. There's 1,000 people watching a rerun of Heidi. That's the only thing that's keeping them away from the game.
Oh, you've been waiting to use that one, haven't you? You blew it early, the first period. Nice one. This is a big deal in Switzerland, no question about it. It's a great hockey country, great fans. And they have captured the attention of that country with their performance here. Here's Chris Butler, snaps a shot, goes off a stick, bounces out in front. Following up there was Smith. Here's Smith now with the puck, puts it back to the point. Drake Trouba with a shot, Berra the save, and on the second attempt, he covers up the rebound.
Well, Craig Smith had the big game in the last one for the USA. 5 assists, and what a pass he makes here on the half board. Paul Stastny had done such a good job to get the puck for him. He's been the leader for this USA team. They've been terrific in their puck possession, but Smith made a great pass back to Trouba, and Trouba's showing so much poise for a young player. He's going to be a good one, maybe a great one.
First round pick, 9th overall in the 2012 draft by the Winnipeg Jets. Here's Nate Thompson trying to work the puck in front to Carter. Carter being watched by Diaz. Yossi tries to angle off Danny Cristo and does. Surrey with a sharp pass into the middle looking for Ambule. Andres Ambule for Switzerland in his 10th World Championship. There's a lot of World Championship veterans on this Swiss team.
They've known the disappointment, and it looks like they've learned the lessons. This has been the best they've performed.
By far. Niederreiter now. Trying to get around Johnson. That is not happening, but Niederreiter stays with it and causes Johnson to turn it over. Niederreiter backhand, and that is blocked in front by Hunwick.
That's what's been so impressive with Nino Niederreiter. He's now taking pucks to the net with authority. He's showing a little bit more adept hands in tight.
And he's playing big, too, as you just saw there. He takes Hunwick hard into the boards. With a couple of big hits on his first shift of the game. Battle ensues behind the net, and the puck comes out to center for Blindenbacher. You know, Niederreiter is only 20 years of age. Has yet to really make an impact with the Islanders. He was with them last year, but had an injury-plagued season, and they took a different approach with him this season, putting him into the American Hockey League and keeping him there even when the NHL season started again, and I think it's paying off.
It really is, and good on them. They didn't have him go up and be a black ace. They knew he'd have much better time, much better development up here at the World Championships.
Kunti gets it to Bonneman. Back out in front, and this is turned over to TJ Oshie. Oshie trying to muscle his way in there against Blindenbacher. Centers the puck right on the stick of Stapleton, who got a nice tip in there, and Berra ready for it, and he made the stop.
Tim Stapleton played a little bit, had a couple of cups of coffee in the National Hockey League, but he plays in Minsk now in the KHL, the Belarusian capital. He's done a terrific job on that second line. He's a skilled player, distributes the puck, and as you saw, he goes to the hard areas, got the tip on that one, almost eluded Berra.
Was with the Winnipeg Jets last season. Matt Carl's losing this foot race. It's Bieber in, and Gibson makes the save. Puck stays alive. Julien Vauclair jumps up from the point. Vauclair wrap around, and the puck comes free for Stapleton. Look at Vauclair and the Swiss. They just stay on every loose puck here.
And they're such good skaters. He showed his skating up on the play, Vauclair, but really showed it on his recovery back in the back check.
Here comes Carl. Carl's first shot goes off of Yossi. In behind the net, looking for it is Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk has it taken away by Yossi, and Yossi's going to lead this rush. Roman Yossi up in the play, centers it, bouncing puck right through the slot area. Here's Ryan Gardner. Rafael Diaz. Back to Ambuel off his skates. He'll chase it into the corner. Justin Falk of the Carolina Hurricanes had it taken away there by Surrey, but he knocked it right to the American player. Greg Smith flips it in, and Surrey cycles it back up the boards. Here's Moss. Final minute of the first. Quick shot. Berra makes the save.
Well, the Stastny line has been dangerous every time out there.
Von Gunten digging for it. Comes free near side. Here's Diaz. Diaz, who missed 25 games this season with a concussion in late February, was back April 20th, back in the lineup and was available for the playoffs for the Canadiens. Final 30 seconds now. They really fast and furious first, controlled mostly by the Swiss. USA's had a couple of chances, but a lot of activity by Switzerland. John Gibson has been excellent. Here's Thompson. Nate Thompson trying to barge his way in. Wasn't able to throw it out in front. Barrow was ready to cut off the angle. One last rush, and they're going to run out of time before they can get one more shot away. Switzerland showing everybody why they're 8-0, especially that guy right there. No score after 20. Here in downtown Stockholm. No score as we welcome in viewers coast to coast in Canada on TSN, listening on TSN radio, and watching in the United States on NBC Sports Network. Joe Sacco's team outshot, outchanced, but even after 20 minutes. Mark?
Yeah, and they can thank John Gibson for that. He was terrific in the nets, 18 shots he faced. The U.S.'s advantage is their size and maybe their power at the net, but they have to be quicker in the defensive zone. They've got to stay up with the quick skating Swiss, who really cycle the puck and take the puck to the net with a lot of speed.
This is the 23rd meeting between USA and Switzerland overall of the World Hockey Championship. USA's got the edge, 14 wins, 7 losses, and a tie. The first meeting, Crow, was back in 1920, the very first World Championship. And USA won that day 29-0. Back in the, 1920 when they...
Well, the Swiss have come a long way since 1929.
You know what? It's taken them a while.
Yeah, their banking industry has done pretty good as well. You heard the boys saying they're very good watchmakers. They're great with their chocolate. This hockey team has really captured the imagination of the Swiss people, though. They're not used to watching hockey this late in May.
Face-off controlled by the U.S., and they are away from their own end. Let's see if they start to make the necessary adjustments to try to get some more attack going at the other end. Quickly back the other way is Niederreiter. On the right side on his backhand, shovels it in down low. Number 82 for Switzerland is Simon Mosier out in front. That hit the post on the near side. The wraparound came around. Banked off the post.
Real power move by Simon Mosier. He has opened up a lot of NHL scouts' eyes. He's one of the top prospects on this Swiss team.
He is the captain of his club team in the Swiss League. This is Martin Plus, a 12-time World Championship veteran, 36 years of age.
The line of Plus with Niederreiter and Simon Mosier has been, everything that you want. A great skilled center with 2 powerful wingers.
Gibson out of his net. They've turned it over. Another stop by Gibson on that quick shot by Gardner. Boy, how many times have the U.S. turned it over to the Swiss?
And again, it is their speed on the forecheck, their speed on the attack, and you just think you have more time, maybe because you don't recognize the names. You're not really fearful of them, but they have to better wake up because they beat 8 other teams that have thought like that.
And if Switzerland gets a lead, they're very good at protecting it. They've only allowed 11 goals. That is the best save percentage in the championship.
Here we get a look at Simon Moser. Big reach, takes it all the way around and off the post. He has excited. I tell you, a lot of NHL scouts are looking at him. He's a free agent.
Here's Kunti off the drop. Taking over down low and walking out from behind the net was Bodenman. Now Hollenstein has it. Tim Stapleton is watching him. Hollenstein trying to angle off Stapleton, who hangs with him and pushes it up the boards. Now Hollenstein has it again. Here's Hunwick. Hunwick on Kunti. Lindenbacher can't keep it in, and Kunti is going to race after that one. Ryan Carter lost control of the puck, and that was headed towards the net again. Here's Bodenman. Bodenman trying to get away with the reach there of Carter. Hollenstein. Hollenstein gets it to Kunti and then puts it right back into the corner for Hollenstein. In towards the net. Gibson poked at that. Pushed it back into the corner. Here's Kunti. Nice little move to get free. Has shot blocked by Johnson, and he is slow to get up. Limping towards the bench is Eric Johnson. And now he can't get to the bench, so he's got to peel back with a Swiss back in on the attack. There's a Swiss player who's down.
Julian Walker.
He is still down on his knees.
He got sandwiched between the two U.S. players. He had his bell rung.
And he is slowly, very slowly making his way to the bench.
And there's another one. Bieber just at the blue line got hit. So the Swiss down 2 men, it looks like, on that one shift.
In over the line comes Nick Bjugstad, and he sets one up there for Danny Cristo, and his shot goes up and over the net.
Well, Danny Cristo shows some great skill there. We get the look here at Julian Walker's hit. He gets hit, very legal hit by number 11, Steven Giunta, small guy. And you see Walker bent over as he's absorbing the hit. You know, the U.S. have had no shots from their second and third line up until that last shift. Bjugstad came in, lots of speed. Danny Cristo shows that skill coming down the wing, and they need a real strong performance by this line here tonight to balance off what the Swiss are doing with all four of their lines.
First World Championship for Steven Giunta. No doubt his brother Brian, who's represented USA on many occasions, is keeping track of this one. The captain of the Montreal Canadiens. There's another hit along the boards. Aaron Palushai. And a penalty is coming up here against Palushai, who's going to have a conversation with one of the Swiss players. That was Niederreiter, who came in to give him a bump.
Yeah, I don't know about this call. The referee on the far side of the ice calls it, and it's really kind of just a push. And I really thought the Swiss player Moser was a little bit off balance on the play, but nonetheless, Aaron Palushai is in the penalty box, and the Swiss get a chance to. That's not a penalty. I mean, that's just a bad call. And you know, you're supposed to be allowed to check people. I don't care if you're playing the international game or the NHL game, and that the referee on the far side called it, and maybe he was obstructed, but it's just a bad call. Nonetheless, the U.S. has to kill off the penalty, and the Swiss has their opportunity.
Your Roman Josi hammers one, and that's just past the glove there of Gibson. The #1 power play in the championship goes to work. Their first power play of this game. Nate Thompson, good quick stick. The outlet down to Ryan Carter, and he hammers it the length of the ice. This is Ryan Gardner. Ryan Gardner, born in Canada, attained his Swiss citizenship a few years ago. He's got the puck. It goes off his skates, and this one is cleared.
And they've been getting great play from Ryan Gardner. You know, he's strong with the puck and gets his shot away.
Big guy. He's going to park himself right in front of Gibson. He's a big guy himself. Back to the line for Josi. Josi drifts a wrist shot just wide of the mark. Diaz off of the loose puck. Hollenstein is up there. And this is cleared again by the United States, who are the 7th best penalty killing unit in the tournament.
Both of these power plays have been magnificent for each country. The Swiss have scored 11 goals on the power play in this tournament.
Over a minute gone in the Swiss power play. Fuhrer banks it in there, then goes in after it. Hanwick is watching him, so he goes back to the line. Bodeman is cruising around out front, so is Luca Kunti. Kunti goes back to the line for Fuhrer, then gets it back. Hollenstein chips it out in front. Kunti can't get a shot away. Bodeman races after it. Hollenstein now. Hollenstein trying to get away from Johnson, who appears to be all right now after blocking a shot on his last shift. Hollenstein into the middle there for Bodeman. Had his stick tied up, and Oshie clears the zone.
Gianta did a great job of disrupting the Swiss deep in the zone. His backside pressure created the turnover, and now the Swiss have iced the puck, and the puck goes down 200 feet.
So Gianta steps out of the box. He is a little relieved to see that #1 power play didn't click with him in the penalty box. And Switzerland and USA both 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Icy call brings the faceoff down here, as you pointed out. Lindenbacher sends it around the boards. Chris Butler of the Calgary Flames backs up.
The U.S. is playing a little bit more physically in their own end, and hopefully it'll have an advantage for them in the offensive zone.
Here comes David Moss of the Phoenix Coyotes now. He's out in front. Sharp-angled, short-side attempt, and Berra makes the stop. No score in Stockholm. Face-off in the Swiss zone, and it's controlled by Switzerland. 6.5 minutes into this scoreless second period. Sweden advanced earlier with a 3-0 victory over the Finns. They shut out Finland, their biggest rivals, right here in Stockholm. And Joe Sacco and his coaching staff very, very excited, you know, to come over on a roll from Helsinki and take a run at something that no American team has done in decades. There was a gold medal won in Squaw Valley in 1960. Technically, that was the Olympics. Here's Plus with a shot. Nino Niederreiter down low with Plus. Plus is wrestled to the ice. Niederreiter in the corner. He's got the puck taken away, and they bank it to Petrie. The Olympics that year in Squaw Valley served as the World Hockey Championship. So there's been no gold for this club in 80 years. You got to go back to 1933.
Well, you look at even those two Olympics, they're both great goaltending performances that did it for the U.S. Jack McCartan and Jim Craig.
Roman Josi retreats with Craig Smith applying some pressure to his Nashville teammate there. Up ahead, breaking up the play there was McBain, but here comes Josi, reading it. Roman Josi, who leads all Swiss players with just under 20 minutes a game, and you got to think he'll exceed that here tonight.
Well, in a couple of the games, he's played over 30 minutes, though, so he has the ability to ramp up his ice time.
There's a loose puck down low for Andres Ambule. Ambule being helped out there by number 43, Troxler, walks out of the corner. Tries to put it back in for one of his teammates, and it's poked free. Bouncing around just inside the line, turned back the other way by Oshie. Here comes Oshie, drops it off for Stapleton. Oshie follows up. In behind the net, almost walked out, but Eric Blum took it away from him, and this is Ambule. Ambule, a 5-time Swiss League champion, 2-time Olympian. This is Oshie again.
He went over and had a cup of coffee with the Islanders in their organization, but like many of the Swiss players, they leave too early. Maybe these championships and their great record will keep a few of them there a little bit longer.
This time last year at this tournament, all the scouts and NHL personnel were asking about Damian Brunner. And look at him right now.
Absolutely.
Got an overtime winner in these playoffs in the first round against Anaheim.
Well, you know, the Swiss have been famous for goaltenders. They've developed good defensemen. They're now starting to get the forwards to be at the high caliber NHL level.
Nate Thompson from Anchorage, Alaska. Swirling around back there, he is number 44, just as he is in Tampa Bay. Bodenman falls, lost his footing just inside the line. Here comes Thompson. Thompson with a head of steam, drops it off for Carter. Carter winds his way around the net, then takes a look out front. Here's Carter dropping it off for Matt Hunwick. Hunwick's shot right on. Barrow makes the save, and the rebound goes into the corner.
Joe Sacco had said how pleased he's been with his checking line of Thompson and the two New Jersey Devils, Ryan Carter and Steven Giunta. They're working the same way they would when they're on that fourth line for New Jersey, and that's what you need to do even in this World Championships.
Turned over again. Here's Plus creeping in. Out front. Scores! Nino Niederreiter. 1-0 Switzerland.
Well, in the first period, there was 3-4 turnovers that cost the U.S. And here's a big one capitalized on by Nino Niederreiter. You give Nino Niederreiter this kind of time. This is the improvement that he's shown. He's shown the ability to score as a junior. He's now showing it as a professional. Good hands. He hangs onto it, elevates it quickly above John Gibson, but it is the turnover at the blue line. And Martin Plus is such a creative playmaker. He makes that good saucer pass between the stick of Hunwick. You can't turn the puck over against the Swiss. They're quick on transition and deadly accurate at scoring.
So we got our first goal of the game. It is Niederreiter's 5th goal of the championship. What a tournament the 20-year-old is having. His 3rd trip to the Worlds. He played as a 17-year-old in 2010 in a couple of games. He was captain of the Swiss team at the World Juniors in 2011.
He's really comfortable with who he is now. He knows he has to play a power game, and he's playing it each and every shift.
Certainly is. Here's USA trying to answer back. They've got their top line out there for a little response for Joe Sacco. Here's Troxler. Troxler, he's in, and he snaps a wrist shot that misses on the far post. Craig Smith at center makes one little move. Puck rolled away from him. 9 minutes remaining in the second period. Nino Niederreiter has the goal for the Swiss. Trying to do something they have never done at the World Championship. That's win gold here. What a run they are on.
Yeah, they certainly are. The Swiss have been truly amazing in this tournament. Joe Sacco will not like the turnover. And Niederreiter, again, he corrals the puck. He settles it down. He elevates it just above the glove of John Gibson. Gibson came across, but that's a great A scoring chance that Nino Niederreiter capitalizes.
Face-off won by the U.S. That bouncing shot by Hunwick goes just wide. Rito Suri along the boards, gets a little help there from Ryan Gardner, and in it goes. Gardner, whose father Dave was a first-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens.
Grandfather Cal, longtime NHLer.
Stanley Cup champion with Toronto. Justin Falk of the Carolina Hurricanes on his backhand, keeps it deep. Blum back out to the line and out. Here's Falk. Second-round pick of the Hurricanes in 2010. What a player he is for them, and is going to be for years. Here's Blum. Has his hands full. Down low with Thompson. Thompson trying to feed it back to the point. And that cross-ice stuff is not going to work against Switzerland. Here they come in over the line. There's a snapshot attempt. Following up. Saved by Barrow. Loose puck. They are all around the Swiss net. And it's covered up, and they get a whistle. 1-0 Switzerland. Just past 8 o'clock on Saturday night here in Stockholm. A little overcast today, but I tell you what, for the 2 weeks of this tournament, the weather has been absolutely beautiful. Sunny skies in a very beautiful city.
Yes, you get down to the Old Town. The Old Town is a lot of fun. Lots of activity, lots of water here in Sweden, as the guys back in the studio were pointing out. Is that the Baltic?
I think Bob Air is Googling that as we speak. There's Walker, who's back out on the ice after he took that hit from Giunta. I don't think any of them knew.
Bob thought it was the Trent River.
This is David Moss. Moss feeds it down low as the top line goes back to work for Team USA. Across to Falk. His snapshot goes off the leg of Walker and into the corner. Now Philippe Fuhr. Fuhr in over the line, drops it off for Troxler. Troxler to Moser. Moser's wrist shot high and wide. This is Sager at the line. His slap pass knocked down and read there by Justin Falk. Falk chops at that, preventing Plus from getting in the net. Plus gets the pass, spins back. Vauclair's shot through traffic, just missed on the far post. A bouncer that Gibson did not see.
You know, you got to be lucky to be good. Morris tracks her broken stick, but the pass goes right through and onto the Swiss stick.
Oshie makes a nice pass to the far side. Now here's Stapleton. Wines fires a hard slapper that is wide of the mark. Hustling over there is Stapleton's not going to get there first. Instead, it's Plus back the other way. Here is Plus into the corner. Sharp angle shot. Big rebound for Sager, and he can't get his stick on it.
Both Swiss defensemen up on the play.
Quick up to Giunta. Giunta against Yossi. And Yossi, fresh legs off the bench, shut that down before it got going. Bodenman in, shoots. Good kick save by Gibson. Kid's sharp, isn't he?
He really is.
He has won gold every level so far. At an under 17, the under 18. And most recently, the World Junior Championship, where he had a save percentage of .955 in January in Ufa, Russia. Giunta chops the stick out of Hollenstein's hands. It comes out. And here's Nate Thompson. Thompson carries the puck in, rims it around the boards. Carter is angled off. 5 minutes remaining here in the second period. 1-0 on a goal by Nino Niederreiter for Switzerland. Stastny now out of the corner, puts it back to the line. Butler hammers one into traffic. It was blocked in front of the Swiss net. Butler finds some room, and that did just come outside the blue line.
Well, Danny Cristo and Paul Stastny did a great job in front of Reto Berra. That's what you need to do. Joe Sacco is going to be saying, hey, we need to have the determination in front of the Swiss goaltender that the Swiss have shown in front of John Gibson. It's battles, one-on-one puck battles. You've got to battle for that ice at the net. You've got to battle for screen position, make it very difficult for Berra to see it. That's how you're going to score the goals. The Swiss are doing a terrific job at the other end.
Hammering it on Gibson, and USA finding out what everybody else already knows about Switzerland that has faced them, and that is it's tough to score against them. They've allowed just 5 goals against in their last 5 games, and they've allowed no more than 2 in any of their games.
And you see 2 guys on, it's almost like basketball where, you know, you double team and you get help all the time.
There's a guy who knows a thing or two about keeping the puck out of the net. Ladislav Tretiak.
I wonder if Berra wears 20 for that reason.
That often is the reason.
Can't imagine he watched him play.
I don't even know about him. Moss with a shot. No, I don't, but, you know.
Maybe his dad.
Maybe. Reto Berra, a somewhat of a surprising starter when you consider that Martin Gerber had been good and got the win in the quarterfinal, but Don Simpson playing a hunch here, going with Berra.
Berra has been a terrific goalie all year long in the Swiss League.
And here as well. Falk moves it around the boards and then gets it back. Justin Falk, 21 years of age, just completed his 2nd season in the National Hockey League with Carolina. Here comes Switzerland back in over the line. It's the goal scorer. Niederreiter snaps the shot off a leg. And Nick Bjugstad gets it out. Bjugstad's another young player, 20 years of age. Finished the season with the Florida Panthers. After wrapping up his year at the University of Minnesota. It's a first-round pick of them in 2010, and he's trying to get the puck going here. Big body, big forward up front. Coming to the Florida Panthers soon. Here's Luka Kunzi. Trying to work around Carl. Matt Hunwick pulls it free and gives it up to Aaron Palushai of the Colorado Avalanche. His snapshot blocked. Doesn't reach the net. Stapleton into the corner for Danny Cristo. Second in the NCAA in goals this season was Cristo. That pass back to the line. Hunwick just gives it right back. Stapleton puts it towards the net into the corner. Eric Johnson spins away from the pressure. Still with it. Forced all the way out to the line. He puts it back in there. Galchenyuk working down low along with Stapleton. Here's Alex Galchenyuk. Winds his way around. Gives it up to Johnson. Johnson loads, fires, and that's blocked right in front of him and into the U.S. bench with 2:09 remaining here in the second period.
Well, a couple of good grinding shifts by the U.S. team. Eric Johnson has got the big shot from the point, and Dennis Hollenstein, who's opened a lot of eyes up here. He plays for Cloton in the Swiss League. He shows a willingness to get in front of the shot. Eric Johnson doesn't get his shot through because of the bravery of Dennis Hollenstein.
Shots are 23-16 in favor of Switzerland. The USA has closed the gap somewhat after a very lopsided start to this game when Switzerland was all over USA in the first period.
And it has been turnovers really that has been the main cost of Team USA. In that first period where they were outshot 2-1, probably 5, maybe 6 of those shots were the results of poor puck protection and turnovers coming out of their zone, and that's where the goal came from, a turnover at the blue line.
Joe Sacco must be wondering where all the goals went. They pumped 8 past Russia 2 days ago. It was the worst loss ever for Russia or the Soviet Union. They had never given up 8 goals at a World Championship. And USA had never scored more than 5 against Russia at either the Worlds or the Olympics. And here's another Olympic hero.
Did you ever do the pole vault thing?
No, he did. He was quite good at it. He was so good at it, we know who he is, which, you know, really says something.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ryan Gardner carries in over the line. Rito Suri tries a shot that is blocked in front of him. Final minute and a half now. Switzerland's got a clean sheet here in this semifinal so far against the U.S. Craig Smith with a little touch pass in for Carter. Carter throws it back out in front. That hits the boards, and it's going to be turned back the other way. Here's Walker. Walker in for Bieber, and Vauclair just missed on that last pass. Gibson came sprawling across.
And what a back check by Paul Stastny. He saved the day there with the great back check.
To the line, Carl's wrist shot doesn't get through. Final minute now. Here's David Moss. Seager watching him. Back to the line. Falk, who can hammer it, has his shot blocked. Sent in on Gibson. He kicks it to the corner.
Oops, too many men. Too many men on the ice for the Swiss. Count them in front of the bench. The defenseman jumped out. Diaz jumped out too soon for Matthias Sager, who had jumped up on the rush. And the Swiss had 6. There's the replay of Paul Stastny coming back on Vauclair. And this can be the big break that the U.S. team is looking for, as the Swiss are guilty of having 6 men on the ice. They're sorting out who's going to serve it, but there's no doubt it is 6 men, too many men on the ice. Sean Simpson doesn't like it. That oftentimes happen on that long change. The defensemen try and get out early, take away the ice, but you got to make sure your guy comes off. And in that case, Seeger had not come off yet. Diaz was on the ice as the right defenseman.
Switzerland's penalty killing is called upon again. They had a huge penalty kill in their quarterfinal against the Czech Republic as they took a delay of game penalty in the final minute or so. Had to hang on for that 1-goal victory against the Czechs, who really came on in the third period.
Not a bad thing, too, to split it up. You've got to kill off 20 more seconds here, and then you kill off the last minute and 27.
Final 15 seconds as Galchenyuk is spilled entering the zone, and it's sent right back down the ice. Final seconds tick away, and Switzerland is 20 minutes away from playing for a gold medal here at the 2013 World Hockey Championship. USA, the highest scoring team in the championship, a team that scored 8 goals in their quarterfinal, can't get one right now yet. Let's get your thoughts on the 20 minutes ahead, Mark.
Well, it was a better period, the last one for the U.S. They did protect the puck a little bit better, except for the one crucial turnover. And their top line has been the most productive. I think he's got to get his fourth line out there as well. His fourth line has shown a lot of energy. Young Christo has been very good.
Craig Smith gets it up to David Moss. Moss along the boards, back to Falk. Falk banks it off the boards, and Moss takes over, drops it off for Stastny. Here is Falk up high. Took a look, gets it back. Falk over. Trouba, Falk with a shot, not the one he wanted. It's knocked down in front as somebody's got a busted stick out there. Here's Jacob Trouba. Sends it back in with 45 seconds to go in this man advantage. Look out. Falk almost blindly threw that across and sprung one of these Swiss penalty killers. TJ Oshie barges his way into the Swiss zone. Watched there by Philippe Führer, who leads the Swiss team in ice time so far, just ahead of Roman Josi. Matt Carl is the leader. The Team USA just under 15 minutes along the blue line for the U.S.
The Swiss defense is a big defense. Führer, Philippe Führer, Severin Blindenblocker, Julien Vauclair, certainly Josi. Josi has been absolutely outstanding in these championships. You saw him on the first part of the penalty kill. He blocks shots with his feet. He gets involved. Joe Sacco is trying to find a solution. Their power play has been terrific throughout these championships, but they haven't been the least bit dangerous here. The Swiss have done a good job of being in the shooting lane.
3 seconds remain in the power play. Sager off the draw, walks the line into the middle, watched by Galchenyuk. Team's back at even strength as Niederreiter steps back out onto the ice. Here comes Eric Johnson. He dropped it off for Stapleton. That looked dangerous, but Stapleton was stripped of the puck. And back the other way comes Mosier. Simon Mosier, a big power forward for Switzerland. Could not get a shot, and Jeff Petrie is going to lug it back the other way. Petrie from Ann Arbor, Michigan. He played last year the World Championship. It was his first time ever playing for USA at any level. Here's Carl. Drifting wrist shot off a leg in behind the net. Ryan Carter can't find that in his skates, goes to the boards and grabs it, puts it back to the line for Carl. Mosier chops at it, and this is Blindenbacher. This is Niederreiter in, kick save by Gibson. Niederreiter's got the goal already tonight. Here comes Carter again. Carter, his backhander, steered side by Berra. The captain, Paul Stastny of the Colorado Avalanche, up there on the forecheck along with Smith. Smith trying to cycle it into the middle, and that is taken away easily there by Rafael Diaz.
Sean Simpson has gotten the matchup of his top defensive player out against this top U.S. line of Stastny, Moss.
Dennis Hollenstein Penalty call coming up against the U.S. He centers it out in front, and now Switzerland will get a power play.
Well, it is the speed of that top Swiss line. Hollenstein is very, very quick. He takes pucks to the net with authority, and a little slash by Jacob Trouba is called there. Terrific speed by Hollenstein. You've got to respect the speed that he's got. A little whack on the hands. He fell at the same time. I don't think the whack caused the fall, but the referee made the call.
Ryan Gardner pulls that back off the draw to Roman Josi. He'll sit up in front of the net. Rito Suri gives it down low. Andres Ambuel gets the puck from Diaz. Here's Diaz. Watched there by Johnson. Goes back and forth with Gardner. Over to Josi. Roman Josi to Rafael Diaz. Wrist shot attempt deflected up and out of play.
Well, the Swiss are lining up predominantly on the left side. Andres Ambuel sets up on the half boards. You've got the two one-time shots of Josi and Diaz. Diaz controls that blue line as well as anybody in the National Hockey League. And Josi has got the big booming shot.
Rafael Diaz in 2011 at the World Championship really made his mark. He was one of the top defensemen in the tournament and really impressed the Canadians so much that they brought him over, and he is now a very important defenseman for them. Andres Ambuel picks his way and then peeled back. A bit of a lane to shoot there. Here is Ambuel back and forth again with Gardner. Rito Suri parked in the high slot. Ambuel goes back for Josi, bounces away from him, and USA gets it out to center and beyond. Oshie. Up there on the penalty kill. He'll just go to the bench after his job is done. Fresh penalty killers out there for USA, and they're getting the job done here with 43 seconds to go in this Swiss power play. Martin Plus comes near side for Niederreiter. And they get it back to Plus. Plus goes back. This is Sager back to Plus. Into the middle. Loose. Side of the net. Gibson's down. They cover up, and there's all kinds of bodies. Finally a whistle. And a lot of pushing and shoving in front of the net. Right in front of Gibson, who somehow kept that puck out.
Well, two very experienced players, Matthias Seeger, the captain, and Martin Plus on the half boards. Martin Plus, if you give him time, he has deception. He looked for the high tip play. Vauclair got the rebound, and Vauclair almost put it over John Gibson. Give John Gibson a lot of credit. That was a very athletic save. He had to show his athleticism, he had to show his battle, and he had to show his perseverance. It looks like we're getting either coincidental minors. Take one for knocking it off the net, and I'm not sure what the Swiss call will be.
Joe Sacco wants an explanation.
I think they're just calling the one.
So USA gets the penalty. And you're right, it's going to be delaying the game, knocking the net off here. So look at that save there, and then watch for Carter. Oh yeah, he definitely lifted it up. So it's a brief 5-on-3 for 17 seconds. But the penalty killing unit being tested here in this crucial stage of the game.
Face-off is everything here.
Lindenbacher sweeps it out front. Trouba's on his feet, ready to spring out onto the ice. Cross-ice pass, tipped right on, and the rebound goes up and over the net. Off the stick of Bondenman. Trouba's back.
Two tip plays by the Swiss attempted.
Trouba's back out on the ice. 5-on-4 for a minute 36. Kunze. Here is Lindenbacher. Lindenbacher with a wrist shot, and Gibson makes the save and then puts the blocker up. So Hollenstein says, you stay away from the crease. I've had enough of this.
John Gibson has shown just lots of poise, lots of confidence, lots of just determination. Those have been tricky plays, the two tip plays. He's had to show battle, and there he searches and finds the puck from the point shot of Blindenbacher.
The Anaheim draft pick was injured for most of January and February was John Gibson. Yossi at his own blue line. 1 minute 15 seconds remaining of power play time here for Switzerland. Back-to-back power plays for the Swiss in the third. Andres Ambule gauges the zone, gets it up to Rito Suri. Suri, wide side here to Gardner. Gardner comes back to Yossi. And this is Suri again. Andres Ambule back to Yossi. Yossi, Suri, one-touch pass in for Gardner. He couldn't get a shot away. The net comes off the moorings again.
Well, the game is in the balance here. As much as the U.S. has got to continue to persevere and try and get the kill, the Swiss are not going to get many more opportunities on the power play. This is very reminiscent of the game we saw earlier today between the Swedes and the Finns, and it was the Sedin brothers on the power play with Louis Eriksson. That was the difference. They scored 2 power play goals again today. The Swiss looking for another penalty call there against goaltender John Gibson, but certainly there is something wrong with the net down at the bottom. The referee is signaling to his linesmen to come over and do some repairs. They're actually bringing the ice crew out now.
So break in the action, a little breather for the penalty killers on the ice here at Globe Arena.
The 5 Swiss players up at the blue line trying to tactically decide exactly what they're going to, their attack plan is. You really see the leadership of Rafael Diaz here. He's the guy leading the conversation. You've got a good face-off man, a good net presence man, and Ryan Gardner out there, and oh, how he would love to be a part of a power play goal to put his Swiss team up by 2.
There's Falk off the draw, scoops up the loose puck and sends it down the ice. Rito Berra out of his own net, 26-year-old, leaves it there. Roman Yossi. Nashville Predator makes the first pass, and Switzerland's back in with half a minute to go in this man advantage. Diaz up high. Here is Ambule. Ambule back and forth with Gardner. Back to Diaz, across to Yossi, one-timer, and it hits Oshie's stick on the way by. Diaz back to Diaz to Yossi, and that just comes outside the blue line.
Matt Carl and Justin Falk have done a terrific job on the defensive side for Team USA, giving nothing to the middle, keeping the puck to the outside. TJ Oshie gets his stick in the way, ready to sacrifice for the block shot. Roman Josi tried to do it on the one-timer, but the sacrifice by Oshie blocks the shot.
Oshie walking something off on the bench. He's taking a seat. He's going to be fine. He's the guy who missed 15 games late in the season. Had surgery to repair a stress fracture in his ankle. Here comes USA in over the line. Moving in on his backhand. Going just one. Rebound. Moss throws it back out in front. Berra is down. What a chance there for David Moss. Back to the line for Butler. Butler throws it into traffic. And then chops back. So the U.S. dodges a pretty big bullet. Back-to-back Swiss power plays there. And here they come again. It's Moss. David Moss leaves it here for Craig Smith. Smith, the former Wisconsin Badger. Banging around in there, and it comes near side for Julian Walker. Walker will just flip it in. Swiss first man to it. Send it out, and the net is down, and our goalie's down. Net is off. Another penalty call coming up. And we'll sort this out and tell you about it when we come back to Stockholm. Saturday night in Stockholm, 12:18 to go in the third period. If you're a U.S. hockey fan, you're not going to like this. Interference against Jeff Petrie. 3 consecutive calls against Joe Sacco's team, and they have to kill another one off here, down by 1 in this semifinal. Nate Thompson busts free. Short-handed chance. Ryan Carter lost his footing entering the zone. I don't know whether he was tripped up a little bit or just lost his balance, but what a chance that would have been, short-handed. Back into the zone for Switzerland. Falk throws it up the middle, but it is unoccupied, so it goes all the way back down the ice for Blindenbacher. Blindenbacher's pass into the middle. This is Hollenstein. He got all tied up there by Gionta.
Well, the Swiss have had trouble penetrating the defense of the U.S. The U.S. has done a terrific job of killing penalties. Carl and Falk again started it off, and they have been very good. They've gapped up tight. They've really disrupted the entries. The Swiss haven't entered cleanly yet.
Sent around the boards, where it's met by Gardner. Gardner disrupted there by Eric Johnson. Rafael Diaz along the boards, lost the puck battle to Gionta, and Oshie clears it down. So again, they're doing a great job on this kill.
Yeah, they took it in the zone, but as soon as they had to pass it off, the U.S. is right there with the pressure, and the turnover is created. And
offside at the line. Switzerland is 0 for 3 and staring at 0 for 4, and this is the #1 power play in the tournament.
Well, the U.S. can take a lot of life off of these penalty kills if they can continue the last 39 seconds, get it done. You have to think that the next call is going their way. Ryan Carter gets a little tap on the legs. That could have been a call.
Here's Moss. Moss's wrist shot. That goes off the glove and I believe caught a piece of the crossbar or the post. As Berra taps his glove, he got a break there. This is Plus. Plus gains his zone, banks it back. Beauclair winds, fires, and Gibson makes the stop. That hangs on. Boy, Nino Niederreiter has been right in the middle of most scrums here tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He has played a very NHL-style game where he's taken pucks to the net. Here's Reto Berra. And it's just a quick wrist shot by David Moss. David Moss is a very heavy shot, probably surprised Reto Berra, you'll be seeing a lot more of those heavy type shots in the National Hockey League.
Good face-off win by Thompson. And again, sent down. So another strong penalty kill. They have managed to do it. 3 straight power plays for Switzerland, and barely any chances or good shots. Plus carries it in. Here's Martin Plus, turns and dumps it into the corner. Killing penalties is one thing, that's great, but it certainly takes gas out of the tank, doesn't it?
And it keeps a lot of your guys on the bench, so it really disrupts the rhythm of your team. But I'll tell you what, they've got to have life from this, and they should be able to get something happen.
Look out! Walker and scores! Julian Walker sprung for a breakaway, and he buries a slapper top shelf. 2-0 Switzerland.
Well, Julian Walker can't believe how open he is on the far side of the ice. The 2 defensemen, Bukestad and Johnson alone. I'm sorry, not Bukestad, Hunwick. Hunwick went up and made the hit at the far blue line, crossing the ice, but he left his position wide open. Eric Johnson doesn't read it, doesn't shift over. And Julian Walker is wide open, comes in, lets the slap shot go. Perfect shot to the top corner, and that is a huge goal, to say the least, for the Swiss.
Julian Walker with his 3rd goal of the championship. This is a guy who had 4 goals all season for Geneva, and he played 45 games. He has not played for the Swiss national team since the 2006 World Juniors held in Vancouver. He made this team. He was a late add by Sean Simpson, and he may have just scored the goal that put Switzerland into the gold medal game.
Absolutely, and there he wins another puck battle at the blue line. As you said, he made this team Sean has looked for big wingers that can win puck battles, and obviously guys that can skate and are good checkers, and that's exactly what Julian Walker is in the Swiss League.
9 minutes to go. Offside is the call. The tension mounts over there on the U.S. bench. Here's another look, Coach.
Take a look at theirs. I think it's Hunwick who runs across the ice to make the big hit, but he left the middle of the ice. The middle of the ice is the dangerous part. You got to make sure of that. His partner Johnson didn't read it, come across and bail him out, and wide open was Julian Walker.
Ambule takes a shot that deflects into the corner. Rito Surrey trying to get free in the corner there, spins it back to Ambule, who cycles it back for Gardner. Trouba watching him. Surrey's up there as well. Ryan Gardner goes back to the line for Blindenbacher. Blindenbacher moves in. He shoots. Blocked in front. That is cleared to the line and not out. Philippe Fuhr to Gardner. Gardner to Hollenstein, who's off the bench. Fans on the shot. Fuhr drifts a shot over the net. U.S. under attack on that shift there. Seager's shot bounces off of Stapleton all the way down the ice, and Stapleton is hurt.
He caught that one square in the ankle, turned his foot, and took the whole impact.
Yeah, he's laboring on the bench down below us. Here's Steven Gianta. Danny Cristo. Cristo at center takes the hit but advances the puck. Waiting for it is Rafael Diaz. 7:32 to go here in the third period. 2-0 Switzerland as they take advantage of two big defensive mistakes by USA. They buried both of them. One a blown coverage, another one a turnover, and they've been very opportunistic tonight.
Well, the big line has been good for the USA, and they certainly need Paul Stastny's group to get it done for them now.
Here they come. There's Craig Smith. Can't center it. Bouncing puck. Moss, who hit the crossbar moments ago, can't get a shot away. Here comes Niederreiter, who has one of the goals for Switzerland. On his backhand, gets it down low. Paul Stastny gets it up to center, then gets it back from Smith. Fires it in, then goes in after it. Niederreiter met there by Stastny. And he and Smith can't contain. Comes back out to center for Eric Johnson. This is Matt Hunwick. His feed up for Oshie. Oshie barrels his way in. Angled off there by Bieber. Matthias Bieber trying to contain Oshie. And the puck is poked away from him. Now here's Bieber racing after it, but they got quite a little battle going on there. Turning it back up the ice is Eric Johnson. Johnson drops it off. Centering attempt looking for Hunwick, who's jumped up in the play. This is Stapleton, who's right back out on the ice. Loose puck. Oh, a good save by Berra. Rebound, and they just can't get the second opportunity.
Nice little pushback by the U.S.
And it goes up and into the Swiss bench. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remain in this semifinal.
You know what?
Switzerland has been coming to the World Hockey Championship for 70 years, and they have never, ever had a run like this. And this one is really beyond their wildest dreams. 8-0 and 5.5 minutes away from making it 9-0 and punching their ticket to the gold medal game.
Well, they beat Sweden with that first game, and that really built a lot of belief in them. They were fortunate against the Canadians, but then they won convincingly against the Czechs.
Ambule, sharp angled shot. He's given a hit after he gets the shot away. Goes back into the corner for Nate Thompson. Here's Thompson, and he can't get too far, so Chris Butler, the St. Louis native, picks his way out of the zone. Craig Smith, big line right back out there after the TV timeout for Joe Sacco. What do they got to do to penetrate?
Well, they need all 5 guys to come back, and you have to attack in a group. The Swiss are very patient in the neutral zone, so you're going to have to dump the puck in and really attack with a good sustained forecheck. You have to be careful through the neutral zone because the Swiss are very good at creating turnovers. Joe Sacco not very happy with the officiating in this game. Should have been an icing call earlier, as I think what he's complaining about, he probably has a point there.
Sent in by Switzerland. This team 1 year ago finished 11th in the World Championship. They failed to make the quarterfinal for the 3rd time in 4 years. It was their worst finish in 15 years at the Worlds. And it was a long, long year for Sean Simpson and a lot of these players who heard all about it in the media and everywhere they went in Switzerland.
In all the prelim tournaments as well, they didn't perform great in all the prelim tournaments, and they've just come here, they've stuck to their plan, and they played extremely well.
Job is not done yet. Here's Carl. Backhand pass to no one, and he gives it up to Walker. And right now, Walker is the guy with the goal that is looming very large. A 2-0 goal scored moments ago here in the 3rd period. With under 4 minutes remaining in it. TJ Oshie towards the net with Stapleton going hard, looking for a tip. Didn't work. Alex Galchenyuk, what a rookie season he had in Montreal. What a time it would be for him to make his mark. In a long season for him. It started in Sarnia, where he was the captain of the Sarnia Sting of the Ontario League. Then he, of course, had the World Juniors, won gold there. And then an entire season in the National Hockey League.
And Joe Sacco is looking to see what he can create out here with his group. The face-offs give you the best opportunity to create a quick chance. He throws out Jacob Trouba. And Galchenyuk will be behind Stapleton for the quick shot. Trouba's got a great shot as well.
There it is. There's the shot, and it is blocked right in front of Galchenyuk by his teammate, Rafael Diaz, in Montreal. Oh, that one bounced in on Berra, and he makes a save on that tip in front.
Great reaction by Berra.
This is Ambule. Ambule's shot goes off a skate as he got all tangled up there with Chris Butler. Butler goes back after Ambule, who tries to spin away. Zigging and zagging back there. Here's Trouba. Does manage to get that puck to Oshie, but Oshie can't get further, and he's followed up by Trouba. Sent back out.
And that's what's going to happen. The Swiss are very committed to their play in the neutral zone. They come back and they support on the inside. It's very difficult to get the puck to the middle of the ice.
Berra puts it up the boards. Met by Bukestad, tipped in front, and it trickles just wide of the net. That was close. Here's Carl. Net is empty with 2:16 to go, and Sacco is going for it. Down 2-0. Why not? Bukestad with a shot. Bounces to the line and out.
Very early for Joe Sacco to have pulled the goalie, with the best chance came on the goal mouth.
Net is empty for a full 2+ minutes, and they get an icing call against Switzerland. Do you think this is too aggressive, or do you think, you know what, we're here to win this thing?
No, I think it's a great ploy by Joe Sacco. He knows that he's got to try something a little bit different. He had his top line out there, add the extra guy. The Swiss may not be expecting it, and they almost came up with the goal. The goalmouth pass thrown by Stastny almost was converted.
Big face-off here, and it's controlled by the States. They work it back. There's the wrist shot. Rebound. Stastny, and Berra is there with a great stop on Paul Stastny.
Excellent job on the face-off recovery. The pass. The pass back. And the terrific shot. Berra stays square, and he sees the rebound by Paul Stastny, who backhands it right to the middle of the net. TJ Oshie battling away.
Not a lot of daylight behind Berra, who's 6'4". Another big draw here for Stastny against Ryan Gardner. And Gardner wins it. Josi puts it around the boards, and this one comes outside the line.
Well, Falk kept the last shot in. Can't keep that puck in there. And again, Reto Berra is showing all the confidence that Sean Simpson showed in him is justified.
90 seconds to go here in the third period. USA needs 2. Craig Smith has it hop over a stick. Oshie puts it back to the line for Justin Falk. Over to Matt Carl. This is Stastny. Carl. Falk watched by Plus. Puts a shot in on net. Knocked down by Josi. To the line, not out. Sent right back in. And this one is chipped free. Open net. Plus misses. So USA stays alive with 1 minute to go. Straight up the middle is Stastny. He'll drop it off in traffic, and everybody's going to have to come out. 50 seconds to go. Alex Galchenyuk. He got into traffic. Swiss fans on their feet here tonight in Stockholm, and why not? Nobody saw this coming.
The Swiss start jumping. Their fans, they don't stand still. They just hop and hop. And I think there's a Richter scale going on in Switzerland right now.
And now here's Surrey to end it. Switzerland will play for a gold medal.
Well, we've seen a lot of celebrations here, Dave, but none as enthusiastic, as exuberant as that empty net goal by the Swiss. They've won it the right way. Reto Surrey finishing it off. Players jumping on the bench, coaches jumping on the bench, fans jumping in the stands, people of Switzerland jumping all over the mountains back there. And you said it right, Dave. The Swiss are playing for the gold medal. Who would have thought?
Last time they had a shot at a gold was 1935. It was in Davos. Canada, represented by the Winnipeg Monarchs, ended up winning the gold medal that year, and Switzerland settled for silver. It's the only silver they have. 1935. And Sean Simpson has led this team, and I mean team, to a 9-0 record.
And what confidence he showed in that gentleman, Reto Berra. The Calgary Flames prospect has been lights out. Everybody thought Gerber would be starting today. Sean Simpson started Berra.
The gold medal matchup is set, and the Swiss, they just can't miss right now.
Well, the Swiss, they were great early in the tournament against the Swedes. They beat Canada in a game that they were fortunate on. They beat the Czechs. Now they started to build belief, saying, hey, we're a good team. In the end, they've answered every test that's been given to them. Their largest dreams would be a medal here at these World Championships. Now they're playing for it all. 9-0. Can it happen? Can they beat the Swedes on home ice? This has been a magical run by the Swiss national teams. Congratulations to Sean Simpson and the entire team.
Don't miss it tomorrow night. Either way, something special is going to happen. The home ice curse will come to an end, or this magical run will have a golden moment.
So Switzerland